Okay then, I believe I'm live. Great. Quickly give me the confirmation in the chat if you guys can hear me and the video is also properly visible to everyone. Okay then. Okay, so yes, cool. Video is okay and you are able to hear me. Cool. Cool, great then. So we'll be waiting for 2-3 minutes, right, for the people to join in. Yeah, great. So many confirmation messages. And till then, what we can do is we can do like a quick introduction and all, right? So you guys can quickly tell us which college are you from, or maybe if you are like a working professional, you are a college student, or if you are from college student, like which department you are from, right? Because I was going through the chats and I was seeing that some people are from electrical department, some people are from computer science background and all. So you can quickly tell us so that we can get an idea about what sort of audience we have. Okay, good evening everyone. Yeah, good evening Mayuri KM, hello Raja Kumar, hello to everyone. Yeah, cool. College students, Trinity, LPU, college dropout, great. Okay, great. EC departments, Integral University, great. Vijay Patel, CSC, Python and on, SSVPS, CSC. Great. Acropolis Institute of Technology, Aditya College, great. So many great answers coming in. Cool. And yeah, from Pakistan doing DSCS, great. Sorry, okay, so many answers. So sorry, I'll not be able to answer each and every one of them, right? I'll not be able to give shout out to everyone, but cool. Okay, some there are from IT fields as well. Cool. Kurukshetra, mechanical department, second year, BSc, computer science. Yeah, there will be a delay. With the YouTube live stream, what happens is there will be a delay of 15 to 20 seconds between what I say and what you hear, right? So you have to deal with it. Yeah, great. And also, if you're excited for this bootcamp and about this learning React and building a YouTube clone out of it, please do consider liking this video, consider liking this stream, and you can subscribe to the channel. And one very great information that is coming up is that as you can see, we are close to hitting 10K subscribers, right? So if we complete 10K subscribers, we'll be having a giveaway, right? So that giveaway will be very simple, right? Some of the people interacting in the comment section, right? Some of them will be picked in a lucky manner, and they will be getting some goodies and rewards from our sites. Cool then, right? Well, good years and all, civil from BSSC. Okay, so Sumit says, speak in Hindi a little bit. Sure. The main motive of me behind speaking English is that we have a very wide audience, right? Some people are from, outside the India. Some people are from south of the India and things like that. So that is why I'm trying to keep it in English only. But don't worry about when I'll be explaining things. I'll make sure that I explain them in Hindi, right? Chalo. Don't worry. Cool. Okay, some people are asking about certificates, right? So definitely, if you attend this bootcamp, right, you'll be getting the certificates. And how you'll be getting the certificate is very simple, right? At the end of this session, we will be having we'll be sharing an attendance link with you, right? And therein you can fill in your names and all, right? And your email IDs. So we'll be sending those certificate to your email IDs once this bootcamp is done, right? Yeah, definitely that will be shareable on the LinkedIn. And not only just one certificate, right? If you attend all the lectures, right, starting from day 1 till day 7, and there will be a quiz at the end as well, right? So if you do take part in all of these sessions, what you will be getting is you will be getting a certificate of completion, right? If you by chance attend 1 or 2 lectures only, then you'll be only be getting a certificate of participation. Right? Yes, so as someone from our team is announcing that we are really close to hitting 10,000 subscribers. So please help us in doing like reaching that, what do you say, that benchmark. And once we reach there, we'll definitely be getting some giveaways and some goodies and rewards for some of the people. Cool. Yeah, so I think someone is asking about the certificate, the model certificate, right? So that will be like yeah, that will be like any other general certificate that you have, right? So if you attend any like master class, if you attend all these workshop and also just like that certificate you'll be getting, and that you can share, you can tag us, you can tag the mentors, you can tag the Edsprit, and you can share that on the LinkedIn as well, right? Cool. Okay, so so we'll be starting the classes in few minutes, right? Because let's get the people like joining in, then we'll start after that. Yeah, so that will be the video is right now live, and that will be available in the channel as well, right? So you can view that afterward as well. Cool. Okay, so very interested. Cool. Prerequisite, right? So yeah, so I'll be talking about each and everything. What is the prerequisite, what we will be building, how will be the like whole scenario going on. Don't worry. And about the code, someone is also saying like will be getting the code and all. Definitely you'll be getting the code, you'll be getting the PPTs, you'll be getting all these other stuffs. Also make sure that you are subscribed, I mean you are joined in our Telegram channel as well, because all these notifications, all these PPTs, all these you'll be getting in your Telegram channels very easily. Quizzes and all, right? This thing is, let's keep this for like for further moments, right? We'll share the details about what will be the quiz, how we will how we will do that quiz and all later. Yeah, very excited to learn, right? Cool. Yeah, so cool, right? And yeah, now like many people are as they have introduced, right, they are from the CSE backgrounds and all these things, right? Quickly, like can you also tell like if you have any experience working with React, or maybe any experience with working with web development also, or is this your first technical thing? Right, I just want all these things for the for letting for having this idea like what sort of audience we are having. Yeah, so yeah, that will be from basics. Don't worry, gaming future and all, right? We'll make sure that we'll start from the very basics, and we'll go till the end, and we'll about demo certificates and all, right? You will be you can see that in the LinkedIn, right? Many people are posting that. We also, one more thing about our channel is that it's not our first time doing this kinds of thing, right? That we have been doing such kinds of boot camps, such kinds of live classes and all these other things previously as well, right? If you have if you want to check them out, right, you can directly go to the like our YouTube channel, right? Just a minute. You can see that we have been doing all these sorts of things, right? Even if you are not aware about the basics of HTML and CSS, we have already done a boot camp on that, right? Right now, just don't like don't start leaving this thing. We will cover that later. I'll just introduce about all these things later, right? I'm just showing that you can also explore our channel, right? We have been doing all these sorts of things like earlier, right? We had done a stock market prediction bootcamp. We also had done a front end bootcamp. All these basics like DSA with C++, all these roadmaps and all. We have been doing all these sorts of things from quite a long time now. So we can like take a look into that part as well. Cool then. Cool. So yeah, so some people have a little bit idea about HTML, CSS, JavaScript. That's very good. Yes, very much experience. That very good. Projects on front end. Cool. Degree students, obviously it will be like if you want to build anything, right? If you want to build your own app, if you want to get employment out of it, right? Anything, if you want to get you this bootcamp will definitely be helpful, because I believe like if you are getting information from any of these sources, that doesn't matter, right? You need to get the information from wherever that is available. And the plus point is that is completely free, right? We are not charging anything for this bootcamp, so you can yeah, so your certificate, right? So right, like you'll not be getting the certificate immediately after one class. After this whole bootcamp ends, then you will be getting the certificate. You will be getting that certificate in your email IDs. So yeah, you can easily download and share that. Cool. Okay, so yeah, enough of the talking now. Let's get into this thing. Like let's start this. Cool. So yeah, Just a minute. Let's start this. And if you have any questions regarding this, right, you can directly ask them, right? You can ask them into the chat section, and by taking some by like after some interval of time, we'll be taking each and every doubt and we'll be covering that, right? Cool. Cool. Yeah, so some people are asking about about the YouTube clone, right? So let's first of all let me introduce to the elephant in the room, right? What is the YouTube clone, what we will be making, and what is the whole what is the whole agenda of this 7-day bootcamp, right? So let me quickly open up my pen. Yeah. So about this whole thing, right? That is a React bootcamp, everybody knows by now, right? So in this, firstly, by day 3 or 4, we will be totally focusing upon building our React things, right? Because I can see many people here are very new to bootcamp, I mean, very new to React. So we will be brushing up our skills, right? We'll be starting from scratch, right? Even we'll be touching some of the advanced concept, right? And we'll be touching these concepts, and we will make sure that you understand React before building anything, right? Because what happens is there are plenty of projects that are already there on the YouTube, right? Someone is making React clone, I mean, someone is making Facebook clone, someone is making YouTube clone, someone is making this, or someone is making that. But what is the point if you don't understand what is the working of that, right? So we'll make sure that you understand the concept first. Concept is the first thing, then we will be building the project, right? Second is the building one. In this part, what we will be building is we'll be building a full-fledged React app. We'll be building a full-fledged app wherein you can do all the functionality that you do in your YouTube, right? What functionalities you do in your YouTube, right? You have a search bar, you search for the videos, and YouTube videos are there, right? So you'll be seeing that video. You can even watch those videos, right? It's not like you'll only be seeing the thumbnail of that video. You can watch that. You can search those videos, even if you want to see the trending page, right? The subscription bar and all these things that will be there in your app, right? And how we'll be building that? That is very simple. We'll be making use of something called as an API, right? For those of you who are already about what is an API, it's well and good. But for those of you who literally don't have an idea, like what is the API, right? What does that do, and what does it even mean? So don't worry. We'll be first of all covering APIs. We'll be working with some simple APIs, and then we will be jumping into this part. And then we'll be making use of that API, and then we'll be building our project. Cool, right? Yeah, so all these PPTs and all these things we will be sharing with you, right? You can get all these things in your Telegram channel. Don't worry about it, right? Cool. Yeah, attendance link. Some people are asking about the attendance link. So that attendance link will be shared with you around 7:50, right? Because at the end of this session, we'll be sharing that. Cool. Anyways, okay, if you don't have any idea about API, what API is and how do we work around with it, it's totally cool. It's totally cool. We'll be first of all discussing that, we'll be implementing that, and then we'll move to our project, right? And okay, so we have 400 plus live audience watching. So it's again gentle reminder that if you are enjoying this and if you are very excited to learn this, you can consider subscribing to the channel. And as I've already discussed that we are very close to hitting 10k subscribers. So if we hit 10k subscribers, then we'll be doing a giveaway with you guys. So some lucky winners will be selected, and they'll be given goodies and rewards, something like that, right? And when I say this, I mean it. It's not like I'm only saying this to increase our followers, right, or increase our subscribers. We'll definitely be sending that, and we have been doing this from past boot camps as well, right? So you can find some people posting this goodies and all in their LinkedIn as well, right? So it's not like we are doing some promises and we are not fulfilling, right? So please make sure that you subscribe, and you can also share that with your friends as well, right? Cool. Then so in MBA students, yeah, you can it's about information, right? So I don't think there is any harm in gathering information from wherever you can. Even if you are getting this for free, then it's a win-win situation for, right? So you can take parts if there is no problem. Cool then, right? So enough of this discussion, right, about how we'll be doing and what we will be doing. Let's move straight to the next slide, and let's see what is the agenda for today. So the very first agenda about today is what is a React, right? I mean, introduction to React. What is React? Why React? And what even exactly is a React, right? Is it a programming language? Is it a software? Is it a computer application, or what it is, right? So we need to yeah, just a minute. So we'll be doing all these discussion, and then we will be discussing like why React, right? Because if we know like React is something, but why we are considering React and why this bootcamp is based on React, right? It's not only because we just wanted to create a course or we just wanted to do a bootcamp, so we just randomly picked React, right? So there is a reason behind doing this bootcamp, right? Okay, so some guys are even asking about what is a bootcamp, right? So bootcamp is nothing, but bootcamp is just what do you say? Bootcamp is series of lectures, right? A series of live classes or series of classes wherein you, at the end of this classes, you learn some particular skill, right? So these are bootcamps, and yeah. Cool then. So why React is also like we'll be discussing, and then at the end of this session, we will be setting up the tools and creating our first React. Right, because obviously if you are creating something, you need to have the relevant sorts of tool in your system, right? So we'll also be seeing what tools you'll need, and yeah, how will you create your first app. Cool then, right? So any quick questions if you have? Yeah, you can post them on your LinkedIn's. Don't like, there is no issue. And yeah, about all these goodies and all, you'll be getting all these things, right? Cool. So yeah, that is the agenda. Let's move forward quickly and let's see like what is reactjs, right? So now as discussed with the students, right, some of them said that they are very newbie to the reactjs. They don't even know what is reactjs and why it is used for, right? And then there are some people who says ki, okay, I know this part, right? I know HTML, CSS. I have worked with some of the projects or something, some of the projects or something. So that is also cool, right? But like, we first of all will start with what is React, why there is so much hype around React, right? And why we even need to know about it, right? Once we are clear with the definition, once we are clear with the idea of what is React and why we are doing all these things with React, so then we'll be moving to what all we need, right? What is the prerequisite of us in building this React app, right? Or even working with React. And then once we get these ideas, then we will start setting up our tools around, right? Okay, so some people are asking like, how will you choose the winners, right? So these winners will be chosen based upon like some will be chosen upon like random people, and some will be chosen upon the level of questions they ask or the level of interaction they are, right? Cool, right? So yeah, let's start with the idea, right? What is reactjs? Cool. So if I just go by the Wikipedia definition that is written on my screen, right? So that says, just a minute, let me also point out my pen so that I can highlight these things, right? So it says that React.js is a declarative, efficient, flexible JavaScript library, right? So like that is used for building reusable components, right? So yeah, I know that this is a lot of definition, and things are not very much clear if I just read this out, right? So let me break this down things to you and let me explain like what is JavaScript, right? So sorry, not exactly JavaScript, but what is like why it is declarative, efficient, flexible, what all does that mean, right? So as I am saying that React.js is a like declarative, efficient, and all these things. One more important thing to highlight over here is this library thing, right? And JavaScript library thing. So I am like taking a little bit guess ki everyone here is a little bit aware about what is JavaScript, and you know, they even have heard about it at least, right? Not even worked about it. That's totally okay, but at least have heard about it, right? So what is JavaScript, by the way? So if we talk about web development as a whole, right? So web development is creating websites, creating web apps for you. And inside this, we have a lots of other domains, right? What are all these domains? There is something called as front end. There is something called as back end. Inside front end also, there is something called as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, right? So all these things are there, right? I'm not saying this thing to like overwhelm you, right? To scare you about like there are so many things. I'm just saying these things to give you an idea, right? Where does that React thing starts, right? What is the purpose of React.js and where does it start, right? So like if you are not very clear about these terminologies, like front end, what is back end, and what is even web development, right? So you can also refer to one of our videos, right? As I've already shown you in the videos, right? There is one video of us wherein we were talking about what is web development and what is the scope of web development. And if you want to learn web development, what is the roadmap that you can follow, right? That is tried and tested roadmap. It's not like we are just saying some bookish thing, right? So how you can start your journey with front end, how you can go to back end, and what all things you'll be needing to learn in between. Cool. Yes, I'll be like answering your question. Don't worry, like why it is library and not framework and all, right? I was just giving the context before starting over here. Now let's move on to this. Like let's tackle this thing, right? About the library first of all, right? So even before tackling about anything, let's talk about JavaScript, right? So JavaScript is nothing but a kind of a language, right, that we use in like the majorly in web development, right? So in that part, right? So if you know, like if you have to make a web page or something, you will be making use of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But suppose if you are making if you are making a single web page out of one single, you are writing HTML, then you are writing CSS, and then you are writing JavaScript. For every component that you make or for every line that you make in your website, you have to write everything from scratch, right? You will write HTML, then you will write CSS, then you will write JavaScript, right? So everything you'll write from scratch, right? And this is one way of doing this. But what happens with the libraries, right? What happens with this thing is that it will give you some cookie cutter thing, right? As you say, like if you are building a house, right? So what you can do is, or maybe if you are building a box, what you can do is you can build the box completely on its own, completely from the scratch, right? Or maybe if you are building a gift box. Instead, what you can also do is you can take out a pre-cut box, right? You have to cut a like cardboard and then you have to make a box, right? Instead, what you can do is you can already take out that already cut box and you can just fold it to make a gift box for you, right? So this is generally the thing between making everything from scratch and making everything from library, right? So library is nothing but if you club all these different functionalities, all these different methods and all these different functionalities one another, right? This will make you a library. Right. I mean, it's kind of a pre-built thing, like some pre-built thing which you can make use to make easier apps, which you can make use to build flexible apps. Right now, there is a discussion going on in the in the comment sections, right? What is a library, what is a front end, I mean what is a framework and all these things, right? Which I will take just in a moment. But before that, there is some people are asking about PHP, some people are asking about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So let me tell you like what all these things are. Let's have a little bit discussion around that as well, and let's see what all things we need in going started with the react.js, right? So the very simple thing, if I had to explain in like one simple word about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So HTML is nothing but it creates structure of your website, right? It creates structures of your website. CSS gives styles to your website, right? Styles, and JavaScript give features to your website. It's just like that, right? For those of you who are very unaware about all these terminology, let me explain this with help of a real life example, right? Which I generally give very much time and which anyone gives very much time. That if you are building a house, what is the first thing that you do? You prepare its structure, right? You lay out foundation, you lay out bricks, then you lay out pillars and all, right? So this is the first thing that you do when you are building your house. So it's similar to using HTML to building a structure of your site, right? Where is the image will go, where will the title will go, and all these things. Then once you have built the structure, what is the next thing that you do? You do the painting part, right? You do the plaster, you do all these painting stuffs and all. So this is about styling, right? So that thing you can do using CSS. Then once all these stylings and paintings are done, the next thing or the last thing that you do is you add dynamic features, or you add some features, right? You add electricity, you add water supply, you add fire alarms and all these security locks and all these things you apply in your house. So this is similar in making a website. And when you are learning React.js, I expect that you at least have a little bit understanding about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Even if you don't have any sorts of understanding with that, what you can do is just continue with this thing first of all, right? Because we are not involving these things right now. We are only discussing about what React is, where it can be used, and what all tools we require in this class, right? Once you know this, right, once you have an idea about this, you can refer to our previous video wherein we discuss what is HTML, what is the use, how we can render this and all these things, right? So that you can cover up easily. Yeah, definitely I'll be taking declarative and all these things, right? Django or React, definitely I'll take this one more example. Yeah. So now let's the main point, right, about JavaScript, right? Not JavaScript but React.js. Let's come back to this point now because we have got diverted a little bit now. So anyways, let's move to this part, right? So since now you have an idea about all these things, right? Now, if you build anything, you have to build anything, everything from scratch with using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But with React, what it helps is it helps in building these things with a relatively easier advantage, right? By making it a little bit easier for you. How it will make it easier for you? Let's remove all those things first of all. Yeah, it will make all these things easier by introducing something called as library. Now let's have a discussion around library and framework first of all. Library is something that has some pre-built feature. I've already told this, right? Now there is something called as framework as well, right? Some people consider React as a framework, right? But not as a library. So you can consider this as one thing. Like framework is a larger entity, right? It's a larger entity, and library is a little bit smaller entity inside, right? So I can say that this is a library. Then the outer pool is a framework. Right, so framework has a lot of feature, right? Framework contains lots of method, lots of plugins and all these things. Library contains a limited set of them. So this is a major difference between library and framework, and I'll not go into the very much detailed discussion now, because then we will again start diverting from our topics, right? Cool then. So it's now making some sense what is library, what is framework. So yeah, this is a basically library, and why it is library, there is also one reason behind it. I'll just tell you very quickly. I am like, if you get it, it's okay, but if you not get it, don't worry, we'll cover this later. That React does not contains every feature, right? React contains some limited features, right? React does not have inbuilt routing system with you, right? Like you can route your pages, or you can add routes in your application. You cannot do that with the React only. You have to add some additional packages, you have to add some additional libraries to do that, right? So that is why you can say that React is a library and not a framework, because it does not contain all the other features that a framework generally contains. Cool, right? Now the discussion is also like, I hope about discussion around JavaScript library is clear to everyone now. Like what is a JavaScript library and why React is a JavaScript library. Let's pick up some other points as well, right? What are those other points? Those are other points are declarative, efficient, and flexible. Right. So what do I mean by declarative, right? Declarative is something that, suppose if you have declared some part of your code, right? If you have written something, yeah, I want a button like that, or I want a card like that. So React will do one thing. It will like declare that code and then will implement a component according to that, right? So this is generally what you say, like it is a declarative in nature, right? Then you have efficient and flexible, right? Why I'm saying this is efficient or why I'm saying this is flexible is again a very simple answer to that. React is most widely used because of its flexibility and because of its lightweight, right? If you compare it with its rivals, right? What are its rivals? Its rivals are Angular is here, and Vue is also here, right? Vue, sorry, the spelling part. Yeah. So in market there is Angular and there is Vue. So these are also like competitors of React, right? People use Angular, some people use Vue also, some people use React also. So the edge the React has over these other frameworks is that React is very lightweight in comparison to Angular and Vue, and also popularity of React has grown a very huge amount in the last few times, right? Why is it so? Because I've already told that it's very lightweight and the community support is very high in the React, right? What do I mean by community support is that, suppose if you run across any problem, right? If you're not getting any particular thing, many people are using React. So many people are already solving these problems. And since many people are building over React, so people have generally come up with different packages, different plugins and different modifications that you can do with your React, right? So community support is very good. And since React is officially backed by Facebook itself, right? Facebook developed the React, right? Way in like 2010 or 11. So React is constantly pushing out new changes, constantly like improving React. So that is why it is getting very good support, right? Also, one more like quick thing that I want to tell you over here is that if you know React, right, then you will never be going to be unemployed, right? This thing I say many number of times to my students also. If you know a very good amount of React, then you'll have a very high probability, a very high chance of getting a very high grade paying job. Right, so this is one thing that I generally say, and I mean it, right? So yeah, so this is about React. Now let's we are constantly like moving away from our topic, right? What is React? Let's go back now and let's see. Like it is efficient, it is flexible. Why I'm saying this, you'll learn this later when I'll start giving you the demonstration of that. Now then it says that it helps in building reusable components, right? So this is a major advantage of React. Right. Now, what is this major advantage? Let me quickly tell you. Suppose if you are making a website, right? If you have multi-pages website, right? Suppose if you have this front end, then you have a header over here, right? You have a header, then you have a footer, right? What is a header? What is a footer? If you are not aware, don't worry, it's totally fine, right? So header is something that you see on top of your website, right? You generally see the menus, you generally see the photo banners and all these things, right? Then at the end you see like quick links, you find the addresses, you find the contact section in the footer of the website, right? And you have say multiple such pages, right? You have page number 1, page number 2, you have page number 3, multiple pages you have in your website, right? And suppose you have to code all these things, you have to write all these things again and again for every page, right? If you are writing third page, you have to write all the code of header. If you are making like second page or first page, you have to write all these things again and again, despite this thing being common in every page, right? So what React does with us is, right, what React helps us in doing is that it will segregate this thing, right? You can, instead of writing this 3 times, what you can do is you can write this only 1 time over here, right? You can write, this is my header, this is the code of my header, right? And this is the code of my footer. You will write it 1 time, and wherever you want to use this thing, you will directly import it over there, right? You'll directly import it over different number of pages, and in this thing, you are not writing the same number of code, the same lines of code multiple times. You are just writing it 1 time, and you will be using it any number of times. Similar goes with the footer part also. Now, you can also say that, suppose what if we want to write this thing, right? But we want this with minor modification, right? We don't want the same information on top of every page. We want little bit modification. That you can also do. Right, how we can do that? There is something called as props and state. We will see that later, right? What are props, what are states, how we can modify these things, and how that is generally used. Cool, right? So yeah, so that is about the reusable UI concepts. You just write components, you just write one part of code at one point of time, and that you can use anywhere in your, right? I hope the first line is now clear to everyone, right? Why it is declarative, efficient, flexible in JavaScript library. What is it? And it is used for building reusable UI components. By the way, what is UI? UI is user interface that you see, right? If you go to any website, you see some designs, you see some colors and all these comes under UI part, right? You have heard about UI and UX, right? UI and UX. UI is your user interface and UI is your user experience. Right, so how you show the pages, how you show your colors and images, that comes under UI, and how the user can move around, how you can use it, how the user can find out the information, how the user can land up to any page, that comes under this UX scheme. Right, so everyone, are we clear till this point? Let's take some questions. Let's take some quick questions and let's see any problem we have. Okay, there are lots and lots of questions. Okay, so we have one very quick question that says like which language is in demand, like Python or HTML, right? So the very first thing is that Python and HTML, you cannot compare it in such way, right? Because Python has a separate domain and HTML has a separate domain, right? So I believe like depending upon their role, Python is also very much in use and HTML is also in very much use, right? And also it's not if I tell you, right, if you like do one thing, right, just Google React, right? Just go to Google Trends, right? This is a website, right, which helps you in tracking like what keywords or what language or what word is in very much trend these days. Just go to Google Trends and just search about react.js, right? You'll see that this thing is like in craze in recent time, and everyone, like every developers wants to learn React now. Every company wants to hire a React.js developer. Right, so it's so much in demand, and as I've already told, like if you know React very well, then you have a very good chance of getting landed into a very good high-paying job. Right, so it's in demand of like today's time. Okay, what is the functionality of clone and something about it? Yeah, I've already told that, right? Like we'll be building a simple full clone of the YouTube, wherein you'll exactly build a website which exactly looks like a YouTube, and you can do all the functionality like searching for a video, searching for the channel, viewing the videos out of it, and even like going through the comment section and all these things you can do, like trending section, home feed, everything you will be having in that page. Okay, so some people are asking about what is Vue, what is Angular, right? So these are just like React. We have just like React, there is something called as Vue and AngularJS, right? So these are also used for the same purpose, but they are a little bit less competitive when we talk about React, right? So because they are a little bit high, they are a little bit bulky, and they little bit have lesser features as compared to React. like not practically they have lesser features, but yeah, people are building more on React, so they have a very large ecosystem than compared to like Angular and Vue.js, right? Cool. Then framework, what type of goodies, and okay, so what type of goodies the winner will get, right? That is a little bit surprise for you at this moment, right? So definitely it will be going to big, right? It's not like some simple notes you will be getting. You will be getting some good things out of this part. Yeah. Okay, cool. Then clear view is library, scratch code on the notepad, combine Django React project together. Yeah, so all these things you can do, right? You can build with Django, you can build with Node.js and all these things. Yeah, cool. Yeah, Typescript is also one more language that is in hype these days, right? Because Typescript is a little bit advanced version of JavaScript, right? JavaScript had some like what do you say? Like JavaScript had some minus points, some down points. Yeah, so that was covered in your TypeScript, right? So this is also in like very much demand, right? Once you know React, right? So there is one more thing that people are doing these days: React plus TypeScript, right? So that is also a very good thing that you can do in the recent times, right? Python got it, Java, Python. About certificates and all, you are already getting. Don't worry. Okay, now one quick thing that I just noticed is we are having 450 plus viewers at this point, right? So that's really great. And one more thing is that we are around like 400 subscribers away from reaching our 10k subscribers mark. So it will be very great if you can make us reach there. And as we have already promised, and I'm sticking to my point also, right? We'll definitely be giving some cool stuffs to some of the lucky winners, right? Some of the lucky winners and some of the winners, some of the participants who are engaging in a very healthy manner, right? Who are asking like good questions and who are asking for the very genuine things, right? So yeah, that we will be giving. And about the winners, how will we announce that, and how will we get all these notifications? Don't worry, you'll be getting a attendance link right at the end of this. So we'll be first of all getting the names and getting the email IDs of those person. So like you can will get some results out of there. And for some of people who we feel like are good and who we need to give some goodies and all, will directly reach out to you. Don't worry, right? So yeah, cool then. And also one more additional thing is that giveaway is only for the subscribers only, right? It's not like everyone will be getting. So please make sure that you are already subscribed. Cool. Let's take some of the other quick doubts, right? Again, so sorry that I'll not be able to take every doubt because yes, there are so many doubts and I'm literally lost in these things. Let's see. Okay, so how many JavaScript do we need to know before doing that, and all these things? Coding projects, please continue with the class. I'm getting very much excited. Cool, great. Let's what IDs we'll be using? Cool. Let's stick to the point, right? Let's enough of all these other talking. Now let's stick to this. So the first line is clear to everyone. It is declarative, efficient, flexible, and all these things. Now let's see to the next point. That is, it is open source and component based front end library, right? So what I mean by that part is that open source is which anyone can contribute, right? And which anyone can access, right? Even if you have any suggestion with the React, and if you want to improve any particular part of the React code, what you can do is you can directly go to its code base and you can open a pull request over there. You can open an issue over there. Yeah, I want to work on this part. I want to improve this, right? So these people will help you. These people will help you in getting all these things done. And if they feel that the changes that you are supposing is is well good enough, then you can you can be a participant, or you can be a contributor to the project, right? So next part is this is open source, right? Now the second part is it is component based front-end library, which I've already told. A component is like, if you are using, suppose let's take another example, right? I hope everyone has seen the Windows application or the desktop application or the desktop website of Amazon, right? So if you go to this thing, right, you will find several cards, right? You will find several similar looking cards in your Amazon.com or Amazon.in, right? So all these cards are literally exactly the same. The only difference is the photo is different and the title is different, right? And once you click on these links, they will open up in a different manner, right? I mean, they will show up some different information. So suppose there are thousands of such projects, right? So I mean, thousands of such items. So what do you think, right? The developers are writing every card, or the developer are writing same code for every card? No, right? They are not that much stupid to write everything from like scratch for every card. So what they are doing is they are making this as a component, right? They are making this as a separate code base, and they are saying that this component will have this as the heading, this will have this image over there, this will have some link over there, and all these things, right? So once you define this particular template, right, it's just like defining a template. Okay, this is one template for me, and if you define this one thing, now you can use this any number of times just by modifying some little bit of values, right? You can just say the title will change to this, the image will change to this, and all these things, right? So this is one example of component based, and you already like might have got an idea like what is component based and why it is so much useful for us, right? So view layers of the application, what do I mean by that is it is generally like used in the front end part of it. So yeah, that's why we are saying it is used for the view part of the application. One more quick information: once you know the React part, right, once you know the React, you are successful in making a website or web page. But if you know React, then you can easily switch to React Native, right? There is something called as React Native. So this is nothing but you can make your like mobile applications with the help of React Native. Once you know React, this is very easy for you to make switch to the React Native. So what do you say, like ek teer se do nishane, right? So yeah, hitting like 2 targets with 1 arrow. So this is what you can do. Once you know this part, you can also easily shift to React Native. Cool then, right? So the next part is like, I hope this part is clear to everyone now. The next part is sometimes referred as front-end JavaScript framework, but it is a library created by Facebook. I've already cleared this doubt. Okay, this is not a framework, but this is a library. Why it is a library? Because it does not have all the other features, right? What generally a framework contains, but it has some limited features of a framework. So that is why it is called as a library. But it's not a demerit of JavaScript, right? I mean, not a demerit of react.js. It has some limited features. It is a what do you say? It is a advantage of react.js because it is lightweight in such manner. And if you want to use any other features, right, it will say like, I want to use some additional features which are not there in library. How will I use that? So that is very simple. You can download those packages, you can download those libraries, and you can integrate those libraries with your react.js, right? It is very simple to use, and as I've already told, it has a very huge community. So many people are building over React, so you won't find any problems in dealing with this. Cool then, right? Yeah, so let's move forward and let's see what all we need and how we will be proceeding. Yeah, why React.js is cool, right? But let's first of all let's see like prerequisite and what we'll be needing to set it up. So as discussed earlier, that the prerequisite of that will be, I am expecting that you might have a little bit idea around HTML, what is CSS and what is JavaScript, right? So these things are very simple. Everyone, I believe, like everyone who is just starting with this web development, but everyone knows like what is HTML, what is CSS. Even if you are not sure about its what do you say, like even if you're not sure about the syntax of it, it's totally cool. You just need to know how HTML works and how CSS works. It's more than it, right? After that, yeah, I can see like some people are asking for the doubts, right? Just 1 minute and let me clear this part, and then I'll jump to the doubt section and I'll take some of the doubts, right? Yeah. So you also need to know a little bit of JavaScript, right? In JavaScript, you need to know like the basics, right? What are data types and what all these things. And you also need to know some core concepts of the ES6, right? What is ES6? ES6 is nothing but 6th version of the JavaScript, right? So that is you will be needing to know before jumping to this. But if you are not very clear about this, like what are all these changes and how do I work around with this? That is also like a little bit cool, because while working with this thing, I will make sure that you understand these concepts before implementing it, right? So yeah, these all things. And obviously the most important part is you need to have that curiosity, you need to have that fire in your mind in order to learn. Cool then, right? Let's jump to the section, right? Let's jump to the chat section and let's see what all doubts we have. Quickly, let's take, is this a MERN stack? Okay, so this is not a MERN stack bootcamp, right? This is now only focused upon the React part, right? About MongoDB, Express, and Node, right? So if we find people excited into us making a MERN stack bootcamp also, we'll definitely come with that, right? Because this has been our trend. We generally do one bootcamp and then we find like people are enjoying this or people are excited about this particular bootcamp, so we generally take this into consideration and we come up with that particular thing also, right? So if you guys are like interested in hosting a MERN stack bootcamp also, please do let us know. We'll definitely come with that. Or if you have any other suggestion, right? Okay, let's come up with this bootcamp. Let's learn this thing and let's learn that thing. You can also suggest with us, right? MongoDB and MySQL SQLite for the backend. Right. So right now we'll not be making use of backend, right? We'll only be using a simple front end plus APIs. I mean, this React thing and plus API. So there is no use of that. So what is the exactly purpose of this, right? So the whole purpose of this bootcamp is making sure that you understand React, what is React, right? How we work around with this, and to make a simple YouTube clone, right, which you can add in your resumes, right? Because if you have good projects in your resumes, then that definitely tells that you have worked with something and you know the concepts of that, right? So the main agenda of this whole bootcamp is making you sure about making you clear about React and making you having a good projects in your resumes, right? Practical doing, yeah, I'll be definitely jumping into the practical part, but since this is an introductory lecture, right, I'm guessing that people at least should get an idea, right, what is React and why do they even need to know it, right? So that is why I'm taking a little bit time in like introducing you. And don't worry, right, I know that some of the folks here might be feeling this as a boring thing because we are only talking about the front end. I mean, we are only talking about the theory part, but trust me, once we get to the demonstration part, once we get to the coding part, that will be too much fun and you'll learn these things very interesting. React, so what I will have to learn Node.js. Answer me if I know React or what do I need to. Okay, so the thing is that if you know React, right, so I think that is also standalone. One more thing, right, you can get a job only by knowing React as well. But if you want to enhance your knowledge, right, if you want to like enhance the skill set that you have, so you can go for the MERN stack thing, right? MERN stack means you can learn about the database. One database is MongoDB. Then you can also start learning about the backend. Backend may preferably you can learn Node.js, but if you want to go with Django, right, so Django you can also use and all these things. Yeah, mobile application you can also build with React, right? I'm not particularly with React, but React Native, which is like kind of an extension for that. How to develop your skills? Okay, so the clear-cut answer to that is start participating. Start looking out for the opportunities where you can learn these things, and you have need to have that zeal in your mind. Like, I want to learn this. I want to like achieve these things. Can I use React on GitHub? Right? I didn't got your point. Right? How you want to use React on the GitHub? Right? Maybe you want to like push the code or you want to host it, right? So yes, you can do that. You can host it, you can push it to the GitHub. Cool, right? So yeah, some people are saying I know Kotlin, will this help? Definitely, if you know any language, right, that will help you in the future. Cool. Some people are asking about is Java is required to learn this? No, Java is definitely not required. I'm getting more and more curious. Cool, thank you, Nitya. Right, no doubt, please continue. Cool. Jobs some people are asking about. Cool, so many doubts I can see, and it's practically not possible for me to like take every one of them. So like I'll pick some of these things like random order. But right, one more thing that you can do is you can like if you have any particular doubts or something, you can like even tell that doubt, or you can even ask those doubts in the attendance link, right? In attendance link there will be a little section wherein you can ask your comments, or you can ask like some miscellaneous things you can also have, right? There is also a section of feedback you can also fill. Cool. Then what is the agenda? I've told React router is not supported. Yeah, React router is not supported on GitHub. I know that, right? But like if you're doing like simple React application, right, that you can host on GitHub, and you can even run that part also. Yeah, APIs right now I'll not be taking that concept because that is a little bit out of thing at this moment, because we are only concerned about the React now. And don't worry, when we reach that point, right, when we reach to that slide or when we reach to that topic, I'll definitely explain you what is an API and why it is useful. Yeah, Django, people are asking. Django is also in trend. It's not like Django is out of the business. Yeah, certificate. Yeah, we'll be getting. Can we integrate features of packages? We can edit. Yeah. So about the difference between framework and library, right? Some people are asking if we can integrate these features, right? So what is the difference between framework and library? So it's just like library is a like very handy thing, right? Library is simple lightweight thing you can directly make use of. But on the framework, on the other hand, has all these features, right? So frameworks are a little bit bulky and they are a little bit organized, right? So if you are making all these other like other plugins or other packages in your like library, that you can also do, but that kinds of, what do you say, if you're integrating too many packages or not, right, so that kind of become like a little bit hectic for you to manage also, right? So you also need to make sure that you are only using relevant packages. And about what is a good thing about library is that, suppose if you only want to make use of 2-3 particular thing, right? Suppose if you just feel like if you just feel like having medicines or something, right? So you will only take those medicines that are required for you, right? You will not take the whole chemist shop with you. So it's just like you will have some only things that you are requiring and not everything that you might not even use. Okay, so single page application, some people are asking, right? So single page applications are simple application wherein everything that is happening will be happening on your one page only. You'll not be redirecting to a new page, right? One more thing about single page application is that like there is something called virtual DOM and real DOM and all. We will cover that just a little bit later, right? So I'll tell this thing later. Yeah, single page, I'm confused about Java, C++. Okay, so I'm not taking these non-relevant doubts at this moment, which are not related to the React at this moment, because we have like so many other questions to ask, but definitely I'll answer them. Bootstrap we'll not be using, we'll be only using pure HTML CSS for the style. Cool. Then great features. I hope I have answered this question. How much JavaScript knowledge, right? So first thing that is you need to know the basics first of all, and basics of JavaScript, right? And the second thing is you need to know some of the important concepts of BS6, right? Which is a landmark version of the JavaScript. Postman and all. We'll be using like Postman. We might be using to see what all requests we know, right? Yeah, practice React. Where can we practice React? You can practice React by like building some applications, right? Cool, right? So yeah, all these suggestions we will be taking care, and yeah, attendance link will be shared with you like within some minutes and all. Cool, right? So I hope you might have got some little bit idea or understanding around what are the prerequisites and you know what you need to know. And see, I have given some links, right? What are these links? These links are the tools that we will be using, right, in order to set up our system for React development. Right, so we'll go that into later, right? Before that, again, I want to just take one more minute and tell you that you can consider subscribing to the channel, because we are really close to hitting our 10K subscriber, and if you do that, you know what's coming, right? Cool. Then let's it's cool, right? Now let's see to one slide we skipped, right? That slide said that why do we need to like know React, right? It's cool that React is good, right? What is React? React has so many benefits, but why do we even need to choose React, right? Why should I be interested about learning React, right? So the answer to that lies in all these 2-3 different points, right? So just a minute, my chat just got stuck. Cool, right? So the first thing is that, right, there is something called as DOM, right? For those of you who are new to this concept, right, who are not understanding what is DOM and all, so let me like quickly demonstrate this thing with help of one example. I'll just give you one quick example. Just a minute. Yes, right. So I'll just go to my browser, right? Just let's see one quick example. There is something called this. Just a minute. Let's first of all go to React official website, right? React. If you go over there, right, you'll find out that this is the React's official website, wherein everything is written that React is a library for building user interface, React this and that, React is this, React is component based, one more, learn once, write anywhere, all these things are there, right? Single components and all these. Now if let me show you a comparison, right? So let's open up one other site. Let's open BBC News, right? I've just taken a random website, right, which I believe is good for comparison. Now see that if I'm over here, right, there are multiple news that you can see. If I click on any of the news, right, if I just click on this Taiwan news, right, if I click on this, can you see the page is loading, right? Can you see this loader? Let me again go to any other. Let's go to the home page, right? Can you see the loader is loading? See, this thing is loading. If I go to any other pages, what's happening is my whole application is loading, right? Please make a point of that. If any component I am clicking, right, anything I'm clicking, my whole page is loading and this whole loader is coming up, right? Now compare this with this website, right? If I go to this tutorial part, if I click on this, see, the page just got changed, but there was no loading sign, right? Even if I click on community part, the page just loaded, but there was no loading sign. Similarly, like if I go to any other section, right, there will be no loading sign. If I click on this, see, no loading sign. You might say this is a like simple website. This is not a heavy website. This will not give this much of loading. Let's try this with YouTube itself, right? if I click on if I click on home part, right? If I click on this, can you see that there was no loading thing, right? There was my page was not loading up. If I go to explore part also, right, there is no loading up, right? So yeah, all these things are not making my whole application to load again, right? Even if I'm going this, there is no loading icon coming over. So the major change is that let's understand what is happening and why it is happening. So let me open up my whiteboard in order to give you a proper idea about it. Yeah. See, all these things that I'm saying, right? If you're a newbie, if you're a beginner, you might see all these things as a little bit discomfort area for you, right? Because you might see I don't know what is like loading, what is single page, and all these things. But yeah, I'll say that please like keep trusting this, keep trusting the process, and let's just try sticking to the point, right? Because if you just absorb all these information, at some point these things will start making sense, right? So what I was saying, that if your page looks like this, your page has some components, your card is there, then some images are there, some text are there, then some information is there, and some images are there, right? So if you click on this, or if if only this image is now changing, what will happen is your whole page will reload again, right? All these images and all these things will load again. This will load again, this will load again, this will load again, this will load again. So this is in any normal website. But if I talk about websites made with React, what happens is, if this is the thing, right? Again, the same thing I'm writing over here. If this is the thing, and if I'm just changing this image, right? If by any chance I'm clicking on this, or I'm doing any particular thing, I'm just changing this, what will happen is nothing special will happen. Only this particular component will be changed, right? This will be renewed, right? Some new part will be changed, and all these other things will remain as it is the same, right? So no extra loading of whole page. This is in case of React website, right? So I hope this strikes a bell in your head, right? What could be the possible advantage of that, right? The possible advantage of that is if you are reloading the whole website, then it will take a longer time, right? It will take so long time for your whole website to load up. Instead of this particular thing, if you're just loading one particular thing, it will load up very easy. So this is a non-technical way of explaining it. Now, if I have to explain it in a technical term, right? So the technical term of that is DOM and virtual DOM, right? So what is DOM and what is virtual DOM? So suppose if you have a page, right? If you have a page and your page has a heading, maybe let's call it as HTML, right? HTML has some body, right? It has some head. Yeah, it has some head. Inside body, you have head h1, inside you have an image, right? So all these things I'm writing for very short, and you have a paragraph tag, right? So all these things you have. And now if you're just changing a paragraph content, right? If you're just changing this thing, what will happen is your whole page will reload, right? This whole tree will create again. This whole HTML will change, then your body will change again, right? All these things will go again and again, right? So this is a demerit. But when I talk about React, what Reacts help us in doing or achieving is, just a minute, what React helps us in achieving is that it will not create the whole page for you, but it will make sure that whatever changes you are doing, right? Suppose if you are only changing paragraph, so it will make a new component of paragraph and it will attach it over here, right? So that thing is possible with something called as virtual DOM. Virtual DOM, right? I know for those people who are not very technically aware about all these concepts, might have a little bit what do you say, like a little bit problem in understanding these, but trust me, these things are like not very hi-fi thing. I'm just explaining this in a little bit non-techie manner. I hope you are getting it. Cool. So yeah, we'll be taking this for 5-10 more minutes because we interacted for like 5-10 minutes. So let's compensate that. And yeah, attendance, I hope you'll also be getting this very shortly. Cool. So yeah, one more humble request is please don't start spamming the chats, because even like if you feel like okay, we have got this or all these things, right? You can like there is no need of spamming this, right? If you just want to stay, you can stay. And about the attendance link, you'll be getting the attendance link in just a while. Yeah. So you'll be getting that attendance link and you can fill that. And if you are lucky enough or if you have interacted well, you'll be getting some goodies, right? For some selected people, right? We cannot send goodies to everyone. right? And also make sure that you are already a subscriber for us. Cool then. So this is the major thing, right? And I hope everyone knows this thing now. Okay, what is this thing, right? If I click on this, everything is reloading. But if I am going to any React site, nothing is reloading again, right? So this is a major advantage of React. And yeah, so let's get back to our PPTs and let's see where we left. Yeah, agenda is there. Now, why do we need to know React in the first place? Is that it's due to its like all these DOM part, right? You don't need to reload the whole page, and it is component based, and you can maintain component for every other component, right? Every other thing that you need to use multiple times. So there is no need of writing that whole component again and again. So this is again nothing, and fast it is, extensive it is, and it's easy to learn, and many more other features are there. And the biggest part is that what do you say? High usability and trend, right? I will write this in a very big font, right? As big as I can write. So this is again a very good thing that you can do, and there is pay also. Let's write it also, right? Because you need to be clear about learning a new technology, right? What is the main demerit? I mean, what is the main merits about it? Yeah. So with that note, let's move to the next part and let's set up our tools. We'll be taking 5-10 more minutes as we have promised. Yeah, DOM, right? Some people are asking the full form of DOM. DOM is nothing but document object model, right? Document object model, what it is and how it functions, right? That we are not covering right now because with the limited time, we are not we cannot afford to explain each and everything over here. But definitely with time, we'll try to explain as many concepts as we can. Cool. Let's move forward and let's see. I have already told what is the prerequisite. Prerequisite is learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and a little bit of curiosity. And now let's set up the tool. So for setting up tools, we need to get two main parts, right? What are these two things? First one is your Node.js, right? So Node.js is what? Node.js is kind of a environment, right, wherein you can run JavaScript out of your browser. Right, since by the name also you might have got some understanding that react.js uses JavaScript to implement all these things, right? So you need to have a JavaScript environment wherein you can run and test your JavaScript. If you remember, while working with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right, you were only writing those JavaScript on your web browsers only, right? Everything that you were writing were only executing on the browser side. So you need to write JavaScript outside of this browser area. So how you can do that? By introducing something called as Node.js. Now, what is Node.js? How you can download that? It is very simple. Just go to Node.js official website, and once you are there, you will be finding out this simple download screen, and you can choose Windows installer if you are using a Windows, or depending upon your code, you can choose it. But I will not download it right now because I already have it downloaded. So it is very simple, right? You just click on this, press next, and your Node.js will be installed, right? Even if you find any problems in installing Node.js, there are plenty of small videos available on the YouTube that tells you how to download the Node.js successfully, right? So once you have done that, right, you have successfully got the environment where you will be working on. One more thing that you will be using is a text editor or an IDE, right, or a code editor, as they say, right, wherein you can write the code and you can run and test that code, right? So what could be the best example, right? What could be the more good thing of a text editor than using a VS Code? So you can use a VS Code. Yeah, the link is not opening. Let's open it right away from here. VS Code you can use, not the Visual Studio, right, but Visual Studio Code you will write. What is this? So this is the IDE that we will be using. Yeah, you can download Ubuntu, you can download it on anything and everything, right? Cool. So yeah, from here you can download it for your Windows, or if you are using for any other systems, you can also download it from here very easily, right? It's not a rocket science in downloading these packages. Now, once you have downloaded it, it's very simple for you to get started, right? Yeah. So once you have downloaded it, now it's the time. Let's. I hope everyone will download it. And in today's class, I'll just give you a brief overview, right? How you can install this thing or how you can create your first React, right? I'll not go into very much detail because I know you will need to set up your environment accordingly. You need to get a little bit idea around how do we work with it, right? So that is why I'll not go into very much detail. I'll just cover a little bit part of it, right? So by doing all these things, right, now you have an idea what is React, right? Now you have an idea, right, why do we need to learn React and what is the features of React? Now we also know what are the prerequisites of that, right? And now we have already downloaded the tools, right? the Node.js thing in the VS Code. So once you have downloaded that, what you can do is, first thing that you can do is you can open up your command panel, one prompt or something. You can just verify that if Node is there in your system or not by typing node hyphen version. Let me zoom this a little bit. Okay, this is not zooming out. Let's open the terminal itself. Terminal will get zoomed out very easily. Yeah, so you'll just write node hyphen version. Yeah, just a minute. Cool. So once you do that, now you can see that we are getting this thing. Version 16 point something. That means node is something that that is on our system, but it gives, if it gives any strange error like node is not recognized, node is not a command or anything like that, that means you have not downloaded very properly, right? Yes. Okay, some people are saying yes, you are exactly right. Node.js is the JavaScript runtime. Yeah, cool then, right? So once that is done, that means our Node.js is done, right? Now Node.js is installed. Now you also need to like make sure that your VS Code is also installed, which you can all easily test by writing VS Code over here. Yeah, you can see that if I am running VS Code, now I can see the VS Code over here. So that means VS Code is also downloaded in my system. Right. So yeah, as promised, we will complete up this whole slide. And since we have invested some time into interaction part and taking some other doubts from here and there, so we'll be covering this. We'll be taking this session till 8:10, 8:20, or maybe possibly good 8:30 as well, right? So don't worry, I'll take every one of your doubts. I'll not leave you on read or something like that. Right. So I just want to cover up the things first of all, and then at the end we can easily take up the doubts. One more quick thing is that people are asking about the attendance link, right? So it's we will be sharing that, but one more thing we can do is we are making a target of 400 likes, right? In our just a minute, how many likes we are having? Just a minute. Let's achieve this thing, right? How many likes we are having? Where is this likes? Anyways, like, so let's keep this the target of 400 likes, and I'm also guessing that we are really close to 10k subs now. So please help us in reaching that part also. After some time, right, we'll be sharing that attendance link. Don't worry about that. Cool. So let's continue with where we were. We were around this discussion. Is React using complex routing? No, it is not very that complex and all. Don't worry. So yeah, so I'll just keep some time in explaining this part now, and then I'll take some doubts, right? Don't worry about that. I'll not, again, I'm repeating this, I'll not leave your doubts unheard, right? Cool. So once you have downloaded it, right, now once if everything is there in your system, right, VS Code is also there, Node.js is also there, it's our time to create our first React app, right? It's the build time, baby, right? So let's build something, right? Let's see what we can build out of it. So I'll first of all create a new folder. I'll call it as React Bootcamp. Bootcamp. Yeah, I have opened it. Yes, this is my what do you say, my folder, and inside this folder I'll quickly open up my terminal, right? You can open up your VS Code directly as well, or you can open up the terminal, but I am opening the terminal now because terminal is a little good thing to start, because even if you are a programmer, right, you want to use terminal as many times as you can. So right now I'll not directly write anything, but I'll go to the documentation, right? I'll go to the official site and I'll see that what it is asking me to do, right? What it is saying how we can get our first app started. So if you are learning a new language, right, if you are learning any new technology or something, what is the best thing to do? The best thing to do is you go to its official documentation. Right? Suppose you purchase a new gadget, right? Suppose if you have bought a new phone or a new gadget or something. So generally people don't go to the manuals that comes around with it, but that is a good thing, right? Because that tells you how do you start your phone, how do you reboot it, how do you insert your SIM and all these things. So similar thing we'll be doing is we'll be going to the documentation. We'll click on get started, and it is saying that React is this, React is that, etc., and etc. Right now, I think it will tell us, right, how we can start build the app. Try React app, React page to HTML page, single page with React app. Learn by doing. yeah, it is saying like all these prerequisites and all these things that it is giving us, right? So yeah, all these things you can come like read over here. I think there is a particular section which tells us where can we get started with our React app. Take the tutorial, right? I think we need to go there. Yeah, cool, right? So yeah, so let's start with the thing, right? What it is says. The command is, I have written this on my PPT. Let's go with this part. So if you're creating a React app, right? So before creating a React app, you need to get a particular starter code, right? What is that starter code? Suppose that you are building anything new. So there are some particular files, there are some things that are already given to you, right? Which you can modify, which you can enhance to make your application, right? So similar thing that we will be doing is we'll be getting a starter applications, right? We'll be getting a starter React application that we can get with this particular command that says npx create React app and then my app. Right. So what is this thing? Let's dissect this. Let's understand what is the meaning of each and everything. So even like one more thing is there, that if you are using Node.js, right? So along with Node.js, there is one more thing. Along with Node.js, there is something called as npm, right? So what is an npm? Npm is nothing but a node package manager, right? Node is something wherein you can build your application, right? So node package manager is a place, right? It is just like a play store, right? You have play stores in your in your phones, right? Wherein you can get your applications regarding games, regarding calculation, regarding any other stuff, right? Regarding entertainment and all. Similar, it is the play store of your application. If you want to get any new package, right? If you want to even get the React package also, you can just search about React over here. Just hit on search and see. Can you see that? You are having a React package, right? Which is exactly what, just a minute, let's reload this. Yeah. So it is a JavaScript library for creating user interface and all these things are here, right? So it says that if you want to use this particular package, you can download it and you can work around it, right? So there is it. Now there is one more thing. There is create React app. There is one more package that is create React app. Right, so what it is, yeah, create React app, you can see it is a package that includes global command for this, and this will help you in getting started with your creating your first React app, right? So how you do that is simple, right? You can download this package and you can like start building with it. But another method that you generally use, that you will find people using, is people will write npx, where is it? People will write npx create React app and then the name of their app, right? So what this statement will do, just a minute. The statement, this npx means that you are invoking this particular package. This is a particular package that is there in your npm, right? Npm, you know, this is a play store, just like a play store, it is there. And in your npm, you want to get this thing particular create React into your system, and you want to use it. So that is why you are using npx. Now there is a minor difference between npx and npm, right? npx stands for node package executable and this stands for node package manager, right? Now we are not going into this differentiation, why we are not writing npm and why we are writing npx, right? This is a separate discussion. So right now we'll be using npx only, right? That simply means you are invoking this particular thing from your play store, right? Not exactly play store, but yeah, something similar to play store, and you are running this command. After that, you are giving the name of your application, right? What application you want to make. So right now this is a sample application, so we have given this a my app name. So let's quickly run this thing in your application. Like let's quickly run this thing into our folder. Say this is the folder. Let's simply run this command, right? You'll understand it this in the meanwhile. I'll zoom it. I'll write npx create. You have to write this thing exactly the same manner, right? By giving the same hyphens, by giving this no spacing in between, right? If you give this spacing and all in between, then you might end up in getting some problems. I'll give this my app only, right? If you want to give this any particular name, you can give it. Now I want you to also notice what is happening in our folder area. I'll like kind of minimize it. I'll put it over here, and what will happen as soon as I hit on this, see, it will take some time. Yeah, creating new React app, right? Can you see this? We are getting a new folder, right? Inside this new folder, if you see, there is one file over here. After some time, right, it is processing, right? It will take some time depending upon your processor speed. It will take some time and it will add few files into our folder, right? What all are these files? These files are some sample files, some starter code that React is giving us in order to write, in order to make a React app from our own. Cool. So yeah, one again very quick example. I mean, one very quick suggestion or one very quick announcement that please do like this stream, right? Because we are so close on hitting, I think, 400 likes, and we are so close on getting 10K subscribers. So yeah, you can consider doing that, and attendance link will be there within a while. Cool then, cool. You can watch this video again on our YouTube channel, right? That will be there after this thing is done. You can view it. But now, right now, I think you can see this on your screens that node modules folders just got added, and some folders are on the way, right? See, one more folder just got added, and boom. Boom. Can you see so many folders coming up over here? See, git.git is there, node modules, public, source, and all these files are over here. Can you see? Everyone, quick answer. You might have got this npx thing, right? Error because you might not have installed Node.js properly, right? Because node npm or npx comes handy when you install your your Node.js, right? So sometimes what happens is, I mean, this is a general thing that just not by downloading Node.js, you'll not get Node.js in your system. You sometimes have to set the environment variable according to that. So you can quickly go to some simple YouTube videos. They will be telling you how you can download that. Right. So don't worry if you are not able to download it at the moment, because I'll only be telling you the structure of this, and I'll only be showing you one simple example. So I'll give you the time till tomorrow's class, wherein you can start doing all these things, right? Come prepared with all these tools in your system, and then you can follow along as well. Cool. Then yeah, some people are saying that it is getting some overwhelming situation at this moment, right? Okay, what is this? How is this working and all? Trust me, this is not at all confusing. Once you get used to of it, right? Like suppose you were learning some simple alphabets, or you were learning a new language. It was very confusing at the first moment, right? But once you start a hold of it, once you start observing it, then it is very simple for you, right? So just do this npx create React app and then the name of your app, and you will have a folder, right? The folder will be the exact same name of what you have given, right? And inside this folder you can find out all these particular things, right? There is node modules, public, source, and all these things. What is this, why it is, I'll tell you a little bit later, right? So yeah, now you can see that this says that see what is the message that we are getting. We are getting this message that just a minute, let's minimize this a little bit. Yeah, it says that successfully created. See, success created my React app at this particular location, right? Can you see this? Now you can run several commands. It is suggesting if you want to start the development server, what you can do is you can directly write npm start. By writing npm start, what will happen? Our application will start running, right? If you want to bundle up, you can write this. If you want to test it, you can write this. If you want to remove these tools, you can write this. Particular things are there, right? No need to worry about any of this. We'll see this everything in an action. But it is suggesting that if you want to start by you can start the application by typing these two commands. These two commands are, first is cd into my application, right? For those of you who are aware about the command terminals, cd means you are now switching to this particular folder. Right now we are in the React Bootcamp area, right? So we want to get to that particular folder, and then we want to start the application, right? But I will not do this thing. I'll just simply close this because we have opened our application, and then now I'll open this up with my VS Code. See, this is what I'm doing now. Yes, so I have opened it. Now this is my local area where I can see this, and now I'll quickly just run it, right? First of all, I'll run it, and then I'll show you like what happened behind the scenes. So I'll quickly open up a terminal from here. I just clicked on this and I clicked on new terminal, and over here I'll just write one simple thing. That is, I'll write npm start, right? Simple one, just command I'll write, and it will do some calculations in between. It will run some thing in between, and what will happen? Cool. I think everyone has now got the attendance link also. Great. Now you can fill in your email IDs and all. We'll share the links with you. I mean, you'll be getting the certificate of participation. Don't worry. So yeah, if you have if you have just seen that something just happened, right? Our browser just showed up this thing. Yeah, and it is giving us localhost 3000. It is opened up something, and now it is in front of our screens that says a little icon is rolling up, and it is saying that if you want to edit this, you have to and if you want to add something in your file elsewhere, right? You have to edit this particular file and then you can change your application. Can you see this, right? Like we didn't even write a single line of code till this point, right? Everyone, we just run some commands, and by doing this, what happened is we are finally having a simple, like cute little looking app in our screen, which says something. Now you'll say, I don't want to see this. I want to customize it. I want to see my name over here, right? How can I do that? It is also possible, right? We will just see in a moment how we can customize this. But one more quick another information is that in your browser, right, you are able to see this thing on, just a minute. You are able to see this thing. Yeah, you are able to see this thing on localhost 3000 something, right? This is a particular localhost server where you can write it. We can see this. One fancy thing is that even if you are connected with your phone on the same Wi-Fi, right? So just type this thing on your phone browser, right? Just type this particular thing, just copy this and, you know, send it, or just type this thing manually in your browser, right? What will happen is the same thing, right? The same thing that you are seeing over here, that will also be available on your phone screen. Even if you write anything, right? Not like the simple template, even if you make this any full-fledged application, and if you're running this on same network, you'll be seeing exact the same thing on your phone also, right? So just by tapping into this particular URL. Cool, right? So now like it's there, right? Now we have not even written a single line of code. Now it's our time that we understand what is this structure, right? And what all files are serving what purpose, and how we can customize it first, right? So let's start by one simple, like step by step, let's start, right? I hope everyone is clear till this point. And even if you are not clear, like what is webpack and all these people are asking, right? Don't worry, I'll take everything just after this thing is done, right? So I'll just take a moment to explain what all files are there. And I'll also do one simple thing. I'll remove non-necessary file at this moment, right? Because it gives us some non-necessary file which are definitely not required at this moment. So I'll remove all these files, and I'll also keep on telling what is the purpose of that. So starting from this particular thing, right? This is nothing but a readme file. Readme file is just like an instruction, right? It's just like a text file which tells you, like, this is bootstrap with create react app. In this react app you can run npm start, you can run all these things. So this is not necessary. It is just a guide for us, so we can directly delete this file. I have deleted this. Cool, right? This is not necessary. Now these two files are very, very important. This package.json file is just like an index file, right? It just tells you that what is the name of your application, what is the version, and what all dependencies you have, right? Dependencies mean what all packages or what all tools or what all plugins you need to run this application. So you obviously need React DOM, you need React DOM, you need React and you need React DOMs and all these things you need, right? So all these kinds of information are there, but we will not go into depth at this moment. Once we start building it, and then we will start like realizing what is the use of that. Right, so it's just like it is an index for it, right? For your website, for your whole project, what is the project, what is the version, who made it, what all things we need to do, right? So this is it. After that, there is something called as package log.json, right? So this is nothing but the extension of this package file, right? So this is a simpler version. This is a, like, what do you say, a small file. This is a complex file of that, right? This contains a hell lot of information around it. See all these multiple things it contains. These files are important for your project. Now it also has something called as Git Ignore File, right? So if you are aware about Git and GitHub, then it will make some sense. But if you are not aware about it, you can totally skip it, right? It's just that you don't want to push every file of your project to somewhere. You don't want to consider every file of your folder, right? So that is why there is one particular file which you can use to ignore particular packages, right? So since this is also not very required at this moment, so I be deleting that as well. See, you will say that you are not explaining this properly, right? How will I ever be able to know this and that, right? Don't worry. I'll telling this again. We will learn this thing, right, as we go ahead. One more folder is there, which is hidden. That is .git folder. I'll again be deleting this because this is not needed at this moment, right? And yeah, I have deleted it. Then after it, there is a node modules folder, right? So this is a danger zone, right? So what is this danger zone? So this is a particular folder which you don't want to open at any time, because this contains hell lot of folders. What all are these folders? These folders are some particular code, some particular dependencies, right, which are required to run your application, right? Suppose if you are using React, if you are using any other thing, right? If you are using React router, if you are using any particular package, all these code will come over here, right? So this is kind of a danger zone for us. We won't be opening this. But after some time, right, we will be analyzing this folder. What is this folder? What all codes are written over this folder? So right now we can easily skip it. There is no need of this folder at this moment. Right now, if we go to public area, our public area has so many files. One is Favicon. What is this Favicon? As you can see, our website has a little icon over here. This is called as a Favicon. So if you want to not include this, you can also remove this. Let's also remove it. Now there is index file, right, which is our cute, simple looking file, which everyone is aware about now, right? What is our index file? This simply contains our HTML thing, right, which is responsible for somehow displaying things on our on our on our page, right? So this is what we are keeping at this moment because this is very necessary. Then we have logos, right, which is also not required, so I'll be deleting it. Don't worry, I will tell this later in the coming classes what is the use of this and all, right? Roboto is something, right, which helps us in like meta tags and all, right, will crawlers and all. So this is also not required. I'm deleting it. I know that I'm not explaining this well enough. Don't worry, I'll explain this later when these things will make a little bit more sense to you. Because if I start explaining all these things now, then you might get lost and you might say that React is not my cup of tea. So all these things which are not required, I've removed it. In our HTML also, we need to do a little bit like modification, that since you can find out that Favicon we have deleted, right? So there is no need of writing this line which says ki you are importing a Favicon. So I'm removing this. Then there is something, see, this also says that logo was, we were trying to import a logo. So we are also removing this particular line. Even if you want to take them, right, you can take it. But since these will make our file a little bit wider, so I am removing everything that is not required. See, I have also removed it. In this part also, I am also removing these comments. See, right? So now it looks very simple for us, right? This looks just like any other simple, any other simple HTML template that you create, right? It's that simple. Now this is a React, this is our index.html wherein you'll be seeing everything, right? Now, since public folder is done, now let's move to source folder. Now source folder also has so many files which are not required at this moment. One is test, setup test. This is not required. I'm removing it. Report vital is also not required. I'm removing it. I'll tell you later. Don't worry. What is this used for? Logo is not required. I'm removing it. See, index.css, right? This is about changing the style. So this is somehow relevant. So let's keep it. App test is not required. I'm removing it. Cool, right? So now you can see that we have removed non-necessary packages. So let's also remove report vital from here. See, I'm removing so many things, I know, but I want to make this very short for you, right? I think in index CSS as well, sorry, app.js as well, we were importing logo. Let's remove logo. See, it is showing us some errors, right? Because we have removed some packages and these packages are not over here. So this is giving some errors. Don't worry, cool, right? So let's go step by step now. So the very important file over this folder, the source folder, is the folder wherein we will be doing everything of our building, right? So every component that we will be creating, everything that we will be building on our application will be done from this folder only, right? So this is the main folder that you will need to concentrate on, right? So let's also close all of the other folders. So source is the main folder. Inside source, the very important file is, the most important file is this index. Although we are not changing this, we will not be working on this, but this is doing what thing? This is just importing some component from here. I mean, it is asking to say like, just get this file from here, right? You can see that it is asking ki, please get index.css for me, right? Index.css is where all the styles are there. So it is just importing that. It is also importing some React DOM and all these things. I know these things are not making much sense to you, right? What is this import statement and how it is working? But it's just that it is taking some files, it is taking some things from different folders and it is compiling them to this point. And there is some renders and all method. So it is just doing one thing. It is saying that whatever is our index.file, right? This is our index.html. So it is just placing everything from our source folder to that particular area. It's just that simple. I'll not go into working on this now. What is React DOM? Why we have written app over here? What is React strict mode? I'll not go into this because then you will start shaking your head and you'll immediately start leaving the conversation. So I'll not do this. I'll just do one thing, that if you want to write any particular thing on page, right? See, the logo just went off, right? The logo just exhausted. Now let's do one thing. Instead of just writing everything over here, let's try to write our name, right? So how do we write it? I'll remove everything from here and I'll just write a h1. And I write hello world. So I've just done a little change in my application, and now can everyone see what just happened? Nothing special just happened, but now we have successfully customized our application. We have just written one simple line, and by writing one simple line, we have something on our page, right? Hello world, welcome to the React Bootcamp. Let's write it. Right, so with this thing, welcome to the React Bootcamp. See, so just by writing some simple lines, just by doing some simple modification, you are able to make a simple React application of your. Now I know that you might say, what is this file, how we are writing h1 h3, why we are writing inside return. Don't worry, take a chill pill. In the next class, I'll explain each and everything. What is the rule of this file, what is the rule of that file, and how we have just, by writing h1 and h3, how we have just showed something on our page, right? So yeah, this is, I believe, everything about this bootcamp. Yeah, so this is the folder structure that I've already shown, and yeah, that is all the information that I have to give for today's class. Now it's the doubt time, right? So please do ask your doubts, whatever problems you have, whatever things you want to ask, right? Quickly, let's take some doubts, and then we'll wrap up this session, right? And yeah, and we'll continue from the tomorrow's class. Quickly throw some questions to me. Okay, so I think some people are facing some difficulties in uploading all these screenshots and all, right? Maybe I think team will take care of this, don't worry. But anything, any questions, any doubts related to this React thing, or anything you want to ask in specific, you can ask. And please don't forget to like share your feedbacks, right? Because we will, depending upon your feedbacks, we'll improvise, right? Yeah, you can add that into your what do you say, your resumes and all. How will you get goodies? What is REST API? Okay, this is a good question, but again, I'll not take this now, because else we'll like start diverting from our main topic. I'll definitely take this once we discuss about the, what do you say, about that API thing. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, some people are asking about. So I already tell this. I think someone from the team has already told this out. Ki you can ask this in your resumes, and this is not specifically from the Microsoft, right? So yeah. Why someone are asking like, why cannot we use browser or okay, so see, you are not like running this JavaScript from your what do you say, sometimes you need to write these packages or all these packages from your environment only, right? So you cannot do these things in your environment if you don't have Node.js installed on your system. So that is why. About goodies and all, I think these doubts yeah, these doubts are what do you say, something related to the team. So team will help you. Okay, what is Webpack? This is a good question. So Webpack is like, see, if you can see that we are building all these things separately, right? This index file is there, then app is there, all these things are in different areas. So Webpack is generally one what do you say, one tool which will bundle up all these things for us, right? Which will bundle up these things and will present the whole thing in one particular manner, right? So this is what Webpack is. How much knowledge of yeah, I have already told this thing sure, that you need to know the basics, and you need to also know okay, how do we need to you need to know the JS concepts, right? Yeah, so how we can open that folder? It's simply right click here and you'll find out, maybe you can directly find out that option, but if you are not able to find it, don't worry, click on show more options and you'll have it over here, open with VS Code, right? Even if you don't find it over there, just do one simple thing, right? This is a trick that you can do. Just on your go on your address bar, just write cmd, hit enter, you'll have a cmd, and just write code dot. Once you do this, see, you'll open up your VS Code in this folder. It's a one simple command. You'll find out this very easily once you right click and you'll find out open with VS Code. Or you can directly select VS. See, one more thing you can do is you can go to this file area and you can see open folder. Yeah, open folder, and you can select your folders, whatever folder you want to select. It's that simple. I need to ask some questions. Okay, so about that particular mentors and all, right? So yeah, so we'll see, you can include that into the form, right? We'll definitely look into that. Right? We'll open up some queries which you can get, like how can you start and all these things. Yeah, definitely there will be routers and hook, don't worry, because how will you able to create a full-fledged React clone, right? YouTube clone, if you know, by not knowing hooks and routers, right? So we'll be taking care of routers and all. Yeah, definitely. See, certificates will be beneficial in our features, right? Although it does not like justify that you know the skills or not, but it is kind of a testimonial, right? You have done something, and yeah, there is some proof for that. Can I use React offline? Yes, you can also use React offline. There is no problem in doing that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I already like subscribed to okay, so yeah, so for some people who are asking like the link is not working and all, don't worry. If there is some problem, team will open up this link, right? This link will be open up like after some time also. We will look into this, right? What is the problem? What is the issue that you are facing? Even if it is not working now, you'll get the updates, right, when it is properly working, and we will mark your. I mean, we'll share that attendance link again in the Telegram channel and all. Don't worry. How to open that hello world text on the screen? So okay, so it's I'll not go into the details, but just that you need to write some things over here, and once you do that, you only need to run the server. How do you run the server? You just write npm start. Open up the terminal and just write npm start. Your server will start, and your application will go live in your browser, and it will say whatever text you have written. Yeah, I have already answered that question, Usef Mansuri. That you can add that in your resume, and it's not particularly from the Microsoft, but yeah, that will be. Why not everyone use? Yeah, so see, it's not like React is like god of everything, right? React also has like so many merits, but at some point some companies are using Angular only, or some people are more comfortable using Vue.js only, so that is why they are using different. But overall, React is very popular, so many people are using React. Okay, scripting or just basic using written code. Okay, so it's not like, see, I want to tell you this, that the bootcamp will not be like I'll just write the code from my home, right, and just start explaining. Everything that I'll be doing live. I'll be writing this everything, right? At some point, I might take some shortcut, right? I'll say like, for this part, I've already explained this, so I'll just like take this snippet and I'll just write it. But yeah, most of the coding will be live, and it will not be like I'll just start explaining and all, just things like that. To screenshot not uploading and all these things. I think yeah, the team will be looking into that. Okay, glimpse of YT clone. Okay, so right now I've not started building it, but yeah, I'll show you like how it will work. It's just, you can imagine it like this one only, right? This is like YouTube, right? So there is search bar. You can search and the videos will be there. Then there is home bar. Then the sidebar and all these will be exactly same. Don't worry with that. Yeah, so about that part, right? Key module is not available and all. So you need to remove the line which says module this import report vital and all. If you are just starting, you don't need to remove any of the folder, right? Just run it as it is. I have removed it because so that you feel a little bit more comfortable. If there were like tens of more files, you might have felt a little bit uncomfortable. So that is why I have removed it. But you can like run it as it is, and it will not create a problem. Can I make my own? Yeah, you can also create your own JavaScript library, right? On own packages, you can also create. Even you can publish your packages on the NPM also, right? This there also you can publish your packages also. There is no problem. Okay. How many times will be this? So just one more thing is there. Okay. What is null problem? Null problem is what? Like, see, so sometimes what happens is you have some values you are accessing, and that values is null by default or something. That thing is not assigned, right? So that gives kind of a null problem. So that is a null thing. Yeah. So earn money series. What is your question? Can you repeat that? I cannot see your questions. Can you share your personal? Okay, so I'm not sharing my Instagram and all. If you want to connect with me over my what do you say? LinkedIn and all, you can get that, right? I'll share that later. Don't worry, I'll share that in tomorrow's class. Yeah. So now I feel like the questions are a little bit out of the context now. So if you have anything relevant to the context, you can ask, right? But if you have like sort of genuine question, I mean generic question, so I don't think. Yeah. So I've already told Harshan that team will be looking into that, and they will be giving you the fix very soon. When we type npm start, it doesn't start understand. Okay, well, you might ask you why when we write npm start, how it started automatically, and how it just got right. So that thing is a little bit, you need to know a little bit more things about that. So right now I just showed you the demonstration, right? If I just go into demonstration of each and every part, like explanation of each and every part, then you might feel a little uncomfortable. So don't worry, when we move forward, I'll tell you what does that mean and how did that work. How to work. It's simple. If you know the skill, you can build an application. You can know no need. Oh, okay, now it explains it simply like education spread. Send request to connect. Okay, how you guys are getting that LinkedIn only? Anyways, you might be getting it. Cool then. At full form already told Nirmali. So yeah, I believe that is the end of this bootcamp because we have resolved most of the questions. Requirement of this course already told that HTML, CSS, and little bit of JavaScript concepts you need to know in order to take most advantage. Cool. So yeah, with that, I think we can wrap it up because anyways, you'll be asking so many questions anyways. So if you have any sorts of other questions and all, we will answer that in tomorrow's class. It's already like 1 hour and 40 minutes we have done this. So yeah, cool. That's really good response from you guys, and you have, I think we have hit a great milestone in that as well. So cool. We'll meet tomorrow and we'll continue from here. Cool then. Yeah, thanks for your feedbacks. You can share your feedbacks, what you liked, what you want us to improve in the feedbacks in this coming bootcamps, and we'll meet tomorrow and we'll continue from here, right? So bye bye everyone. Thanks all of you for joining in. How to connect and all. You can find me over LinkedIn and Twitter, right? I'm Readme File, right? You can just find it over LinkedIn. You can just write my name, and I'll be there. Cool. Thanks for everyone. How to close server is just like press Control C and your server will be closed. Yeah, press C over here, Control C, and your server will be closed. Just need to write this, and your server will now be closed. If you want to connect with me on my Twitter, my Twitter username is this. Yeah. Okay, I think I commented this from expert already, but yeah, anyways. Yeah, so you can also find me on my LinkedIn as well, right? Just write Readme File and I'll be there. Cool. So let's meet tomorrow and let's continue. Attendance is already there in the pinned chat. Cool. Bye bye everyone. Have a lovely day. We'll meet tomorrow.